On some hard times recently, having lost 8 games in a row and 16 of 18 played this season. Today, however, they hope to change things as they get ready to entertain the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State University. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Maas. Welcome to another edition of IPFW Women's Basketball here on College 56 Sports. My normal partner, Dave Scouten, is unable to be here today, so we're happy to have with us IPFW senior Sarah Labe, who is a communications major and also a member of the women's soccer team. Sarah, welcome to the broadcast. As a competitive collegiate player, when a team falls into a rut and is having a hard time winning, what do they do to get out of it?
You know what? We're really fortunate with our women's basketball team. We have a great mixture of juniors, seniors, freshmen, and sophomores. That this is really where their true heart's going to show today. They can come back from the road trips that they've just had and play a great game today, especially against a team they've never faced before. I think they can really do it, and this is where they're going to shine through. It's going to be hard today.
On paper, this looks to be a mismatch. IPFW is 2-16, South Dakota State 14-6, but that's on paper.
That is on paper, and you know what? We've never seen this team before, and I think that's the way that these ladies need to take it today. They need to just say, hey, brand new team, brand new game, clean slate, and start over. This could be the start of something good for them.
One member of South Dakota State, Shannon Schlegel, she's tall, she's a veteran, she's a senior, she's their leading career scorer, third leading rebounder. What does IPFW have to do to stop her?
You know what? They may have to double up on her, and they really might have to stick someone on her the whole game, and then when she gets the ball, we may have to double down. Whatever it's going to take to get this win, I think the ladies are going to do today.
We're looking forward to an exciting contest. It's IPFW taking on South Dakota State. Please stay tuned. Starting lineups and the opening tip are just ahead right here on College 56 Sports.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This month on IPFW Up Close, we're going to tell you about a workshop where employers can learn to understand and manage a diverse workforce. We'll also take a look at how that workforce has changed over the past 20 years here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll also be talking about a program at IPFW called First Year Experience. We'll talk with those in charge and the students who are involved in the program, and you're going to hear some very surprising results. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access, Channel 56.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. This is Mike Maas along with Sarah Labe getting ready to call the action in today's women's basketball matchup featuring the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State University and the IPFW Mastodons. Our starting lineups today as we're almost ready for tip-off. First, for the visitors from South Dakota State, Stephanie Bolden, Heather Sealer are at the guards, Megan Vogel, Shannon Schlegel are at the forwards, and Sarita DeBoer is at center. The head coach in his fourth year is Aaron Johnston. For IPFW, their starting lineup looks like this. A four-guard offense today. It will be Ashley Johnson, Courtney Nicely, Jana Lewis Carlisle, and Hillary O'Connell all playing a guard position. And at center will be the 6-foot senior Varia Bibbs from Euclid, Ohio. Head coach of the Mastodons in his fourth year is Bruce Patterson. Sarah Labe, again, welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you filling in for Dave Scouten.
No problem, Mike. Glad to be here.
As we said earlier, IPFW, a team that's been hurting. They've lost 8 in a row. Can they change the tide today?
Well, let's see. Coach Bruce Patterson really switched the lineup a lot. We got, as you said, a four-guard offense. First time we've seen that this year. Let's see what they can do. Maybe a change is exactly what these girls need to spark a fire in them today.
South Dakota State in their visiting blue uniforms, gold and white trim. IPFW in the actual silver uniforms with blue trim. Opening tap is controlled by the visitors from South Dakota State. They'll be heading from right to left on your television screen. IPFW comes out in a man-to-man defense right away.
Great steal. They're really marking up today, and that's what they're doing. They're going to double team every time the other team gets the ball, and it's looking good so far.
Good effort by Varia Bibbs trying to deny Sarita DeBoer the ball inside. 14 seconds left on the 30-second shot clock. We're just underway here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Glad you could join us here on College 56 Sports.
Glad to see this. You can see the fire in the girls' eyes this afternoon.
Three-point shot up and in by Heather Sealer. So South Dakota State draws first blood here this afternoon. Jonna Lewis Carlisle and Ashley Johnson, both quick as cats. First time they've been in the starting lineup.
I'm sure that Coach Patterson is going to look for some people with some less nerves tonight to really take some leadership. He's got Courtney Nicely out there, senior for the Dons, that's really going to talk it up today, hopefully. Three-point
shot was missed by Sealer, and Jonna Lewis Carlisle has the basketball. Jonna Lewis has scored in double figures in her last 4 contests.
Definitely got some talk out there.
Long shot. It's going to be a long two by Jonna Lewis Carlisle, and the Dons are on the board.
Just short of the 3, Mike. Definitely just short of the 3.
3-2 our score. South Dakota State on top. Early moments of this ball game. And a traveling call called on Shannon Schlegel. And mentioned earlier, Sarah, Shannon Schlegel is a 6-foot senior who is the career scoring leader, over 1,700 points for South Dakota State. Also is their 3rd leading rebounder of all time. Yeah, looking at her stats, she's definitely been known to carry her team a little bit. Let's see if we can definitely shut her down today. Will be have a big impact on this game. Jonna Lewis Carlisle knocks down a 3, and she scored 5 points in a row, and now the Mastodons have a 5-3 lead. This could build good momentum for them. Another 3-point shot on the way, and it's short. Shot taken by Bolden. And here comes Jonna Lewis Carlisle again. She's got the hot hand, and she knocks down another jumper. She's hit her first 3 shots. And it's a 7-3 Mastodon lead. Having her and Ashley Johnson in the lineup for the first time together may be the change that we needed, Mike. Stephanie Borden comes right back with a layup, and it's 7-5, and both teams hitting the shots early on. South Dakota State playing a man-to-man defense as well as IPFW. And Faria Bibbs nearly lost it. She drives it off the glass and in. That's the heart, Mike. That's that dedication, that heart that you can see paying off right now as she just continued to fight for that ball. Mastodons need a big effort from Faria Bibbs down low this afternoon. And there's a nice play by Faria, forces a turnover. Courtney nicely for 3 off the back of the rim. No. The Dons have had some great opportunities with some movement in the ball. Taking it off and missing the shot was Sealer, but putback missed. Another putback is knocked away by Faria Bibbs, but Faria is going to be called for the foul. Her first, team first. And heading to the line for South Dakota State. We should get a good look at Aaron Johnston. And then Bruce Patterson. Sarita DeBoer is a 6'2 senior, 6'2 from Huron, South Dakota. First free throw is good. On the year coming in, DeBoer 65% free throw shooter. South Dakota has a little bit of a height advantage than we do, and let's hope that our speed and our quickness and the hard work that these girls have put in the gym can sort of combat that today. Christina Gilbert, a 6'2 junior, checks into the Jackrabbit lineup. So you're right, South Dakota State has the height, IPFW has the quickness. Second free throw good as well, 2 for 2 at the line for DeBoer. And it's a 9-7 Mastodon lead. We have played a little over 3 minutes. O'Connell misses a long shot. And here come the Jackrabbits on the run. Gilbert throws it away. And that's the double teaming that I was talking about earlier, Mike, and that's what it's going to take. Maybe that pressure will force them to get rid of the ball. Third turnover for South Dakota State. So IPFW puts it into play with just under 16 and a half minutes remaining here in the first half. Dons on top, 9-7. Pass off the hands of Geneva Murdoch, out of bounds. Second Mastodon turnover. Geneva Murdoch, 6-foot junior from Northside High School. Been fighting knee problems throughout her collegiate career, but she's been getting more playing time as of late.
If defense can win a game, this might be the game that it can be done in. And
nearly a steal by Hillary O'Connell. Looks like South Dakota State, their game plan is simple. Take advantage of their height and hit the ball inside. High post offense here. Ball nearly taken away, and it turnover off the hand of Cerise DeBoer. So there's a timeout on the floor. 15:56 to go and a half. Our score, IPFW 9, South Dakota State 7. You're watching IPFW Women's Basketball on College 56 Sports.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gates Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Mike Maz and Sarah Labe with you this afternoon. We've played just over 4 minutes. Mastodons lead South Dakota State 9-7. And Sarah, the Dons have hit 4 of their first 6 shots. South Dakota State 2 of 6. And so far, so good for IPFW.
Yeah, we've got some great defense going on, some good turnovers, and I think that's really what's going to take place here today if they can stay on their game and stay with their quickness.
Mastodons have the basketball. Hillary O'Connell from long distance, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by DeBoer, and here comes South Dakota State on the run.
O'Connell is 0 for 2, but I think that's what she's going to have to do. She's going to have to shoot until she makes them. And once she gets in her game, she is hard to stop.
Couple of substitutions for South Dakota State. Number 4 is Andrea Vertigan. She's a 5'9" freshman. And number 42 is Shannon Schlegel back in the lineup. Jackrabbits will inbound the basketball. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Again, they're going to try to work it inside. Now we got a whistle and a player control foul called on South Dakota State.
Another great opportunity for IPFW to work the ball up the court.
Foul was on Schlegel, her first, team first. So team fouls are even at 1 apiece. And IPFW will inbound the basketball. South Dakota State comes up with a little bit of pressure, token pressure here.
You see Coach Patterson being a little more vocal off the bench tonight. Let's hope that his enthusiasm can transfer into the players tonight.
Ashley Johnson, leading scorer for the Dons, averaging 10 points a game with the basketball, and she loses it. Third turnover on IPFW, and now we got a wraparound foul going to be called on Hillary O'Connell. First foul on the sophomore from Warsaw. Maria Bibbs and Jenny Green, 6-foot junior tri-captain, making her first appearance for IPFW now.
You know, every day I see Jenny Green and some of the other girls just come all the time working out in the weight room, putting that extra time in. I think that's really going to help the Dons.
Three-point shot is missed, but South Dakota State with the offensive rebound. Put back no good. Again, second offensive board for the Jackrabbits. Inside. Shot up by Schlegel, no good. Fight for the loose ball, and Jonna Lewis Carlisle comes up with it, and here comes IPFW on the attack. Pass intended for Varia Bibbs, off her leg, out of bounds.
Maybe a little too excited, a little too quick with the ball there.
Turnover number 4 for IPFW. 14:23 to go here in the first half. It's 9-7, IPFW on top. South Dakota State in the blue with the basketball. Another player control foul called on South Dakota State. This one on Megan Vogel, her first, team second.
This is crucial for IPFW. These are the times they need to take advantage. That way they can maintain their lead and just continue for that lead to grow.
Nice pick set by Jenny Green. Let's West Carlisle get by. In the 14-minute mark. Inside feed to Bibbs. Turnaround shot off the glass and in. Varia Bibbs on a feed from Jonna Lewis Carlisle. She now has 4 points.
Great counterattack.
IPFW getting back quickly on defense, trying to negate some of South Dakota State's speed. Schlegel off the glass, no good, and AJ Ashley Johnson comes down with the board.
The man-to-man to the double pressure is working very well for the Dons this afternoon.
Jenny Green missed the shot. Bibbs got the offensive board, but we have a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Andrea Vertigan, her first, team third. Substitutions now. Heather Sealer comes back in the lineup. Sarita DeBoer comes back in the lineup. And for IPFW, Molly Martin, who's been battling some illness. Missed a couple of practices this week. She's in there. It'll be Mastodon basketball.
Molly Martin, some of the energy that makes this team go, Mike. She's always enthusiastic. She's always talking. A huge and tremendous asset to the Dons.
Jenny Green on the high post. Ball nearly knocked away. O'Connor will fire a three. No good. DeBoer gets the rebound. DeBoer, I should say, gets the rebound. Three-point shot on the way. No good, but she gets her own rebound.
IPFW a little slow to defend that time.
Hillary O'Connell picks up her second foul, team third. And Sarita DeBoer will go back to the line to shoot 2 more. She made 2 earlier.
This is where we see that height again. Sarita DeBoer, another 6'2" player. South Dakota State's carrying 3 this afternoon, players of 6'2", and this is David and Goliath. Let's see if the IPFW Mastodons can hold them off.
Second free throw made by DeBoer, so she's now 4 of 4 from the line. Sarah Glowacki, freshman from Freeland, Michigan, makes her first appearance for IPFW. 11-9, IPFW with the lead and the basketball. As we are now under 13 minutes here in the first half of play. Martin tries to drive, and she is hammered. Vertigan picks up her second foul.
Molly Martin's going to have to stay tough today. Coming through an illness, not being able to work out with the team all week is really going to take a toll and really show what she can do today.
Stephanie Bolden comes in for Vertigan, who leaves with 2 fouls.
Jenny Green, a great team player, playing great defense out there, showing some great picks, blocking off some players for other teammates.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. AJ wants to drive. Molly Martin, as we said, she's hit a lot of long ball shots during the course of the year, and now we've got a player control foul on Jenny Green.
The Dons are getting the time with the ball. If they can work it up closer to the net to get those nice layups and some better shots, this could really be a great game.
Team fouls now even at 4. Jackrabbits with the basketball. Run that little weave, looking for a backdoor cut. Inside ball nearly knocked away.
Another double team by the Mastodons for control of the ball.
South Dakota State does turn it over. 12 minutes left here in the first half. Dons on top, 11-9. I think surprising South Dakota State just a little bit.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure South Dakota State came
Bruce
in.
Patterson screaming for a timeout, but the officials aren't hearing it. 5 on the shot clock. Ball intended pass for Bibbs, knocked away. Here comes South Dakota State on the run. Gilbert misses the short jumper. Glowacki comes down with the board, and back comes IPFW. And now Bruce Patterson gets a 30-second timeout called with 11:32 left here in the first half. Yeah, you see Bruce Patterson in his 4th year here at IPFW.
Mike, you can look at the different coaching styles between Coach Johnson and Coach Patterson, where Coach Patterson is much more vocal and trying to get the team energized, where Coach Johnson is real calm, sitting on the bench, not saying a whole lot. I wonder if that's going to play an effect in how both teams play today.
Interesting contrast, as you say. I invite you to stay tuned at halftime here this afternoon. We're going to have the interim head coach of the IPFW men's basketball team, Joe Pachota, visiting with us. They are going to be taking off tomorrow morning and heading down to Texas, where they'll be taking on Texas Pan American Monday night and then Texas A&M Corpus Christi on Wednesday.
Gosh, that's a big schedule.
Play about to resume. Jenny Green inbounds it right in front of our location. South Dakota State starting to extend their defense, double team Martin, and she calls another timeout. I'm not sure Bruce wanted that one called.
Looks like they're getting a little frustrated now. Maybe it is a good time. Maybe Molly made that good decision there that a player needs to make on the field to, let's regroup and let's figure some things out here.
And the key, I think what Bruce may be saying in the huddle is communicate. Because when Molly gets double teamed, that leaves somebody open, and teammates need to talk.
One of the things that's so great about basketball that some other sports lack, such as soccer, is that ability to call a timeout. Let's regroup and let's see how some things go. And I really think Molly may have done the right thing there. Let's take the leadership. Let's see where we're going to go.
In case you're just joining us and you're not sure about all the rules, each team has 5 timeouts in a game, 1 full 4:30, and there are 8 media timeouts as well. Back to the action. A.J. Ashley Johnson with the ball. Going to try to work it inside to Bibbs. Bibbs travels with the basketball. And now we have an official timeout. 11:10 left until halftime. Mastodons lead the Jackrabbits 11-9. You're watching IPFW women's basketball, on College 56 Sports.
Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Everybody to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Moss, Sarah Labe with you. Merchandise apparel, as you can see, on sale for those in attendance today here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center.
These are great things that you can pick up at the IPFW bookstore too. I mean, just come out and support the team.
At this point, IPFW 50% shooting from the floor, 5 of 10. South Dakota State only 17% on 2 of 12. So good defense so far by IPFW.
IPFW came right into the court talking a lot. Let's see if this is the change that was made. Let's see if communication, Mike, as you said, was what Coach Patterson was talking about.
Well, we've got a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Candace Daniel, one of our 3 officials. Going to call Jenny Green for her 2nd foul. Team 5th. Courtney Nicely and Jana Lewis Carlisle back in the lineup, replacing Ashley Johnson and Sarah Glowacki. South Dakota State will inbound the basketball.
South Dakota State's only hitting 17%. That shows something for the Dons defense this afternoon.
At the moment. Here's a drive, shot off the glass and in by Heather Sealer. She now has 5 points. And we are tied at 11 with 10:35 to go here in the first half. Jenica Lewis-Carlisle looking for some help.
IPFW seems to try and get right into that net before they shoot that ball.
12 on the shot clock. JLC pulls up, jumper no good. Rebounded by Sealer.
No one in for the rebound from the Dons. I wonder if they're worried a lot about getting back quickly on defense rather than getting those rebounds.
Schlegel with a turnaround jumper. Shannon Schlegel with her first points of the day. South Dakota State with the lead 13-11.
This is the first time since the beginning they've had the lead. The Dons have been able to hold them.
Molly Martin for three, no good. DeBoer with the rebound. Sealer. And they move it. Nice passing. Shannon Schlegel. Back-to-back buckets.
Seeing a little bit of frustration on the players on the Mastodons. They really need to loosen up, work the ball, and start to talk again because it's getting pretty quiet out there.
15-11. South Dakota State with the lead. And Molly Martin thought that perhaps Courtney Nicely was going to zig, and Courtney zagged. I believe that's the 7th turnover now on IPFW. And here come the Jackrabbits, and now it's time for IPFW to step it up on the D. Stop a 6-point South Dakota State run. Oh, nice block by Jana Lewis-Carlisle.
I wonder if the timeouts were what South Dakota State needed for them to wake up. I mean, their coach looked a little nervous and didn't look like he knew quite what was going on with the shock of IPFW taking the lead right away.
Ashley Johnson back in the Mastodon lineup. Quick inbounds pass, shot no good. Johnson with the rebound as Sarita DeBoer missed her shot.
Great pick by Jenny Green, playing great defense.
Oh, nice feed to Bibbs. Well, I thought she was hammered, but the officials say no, the ball was knocked out of bounds instead. So the Dons are inbounded underneath their own basket. 8:55 left in the half. It's 15-11, South Dakota State with the lead.
Some great movement off the ball.
Jenny Green.
We get a lot of time to hold the ball, and I think that time may be taking a toll on us. We get a little more confused as time goes on.
Ball knocked out of bounds by South Dakota State. Mastodons are inbound at 12 on the shot clock.
We seem to move the ball much better when we're rapidly going down the court.
Jana Lewis-Carlisle gets a return pass. 6 on the shot clock. AJ stops and pops, and she's off. The ball goes out of bounds, so scoring chance missed by IPFW, and with 8:34 left in the half, South Dakota State will try to increase their 4-point lead. Heather Sealer bringing the ball up the floor. Almost looked like they play a 1-3-1 offense. 3-point shot by Sealer off the rim, no. But DeBoer gets the rebound. Another 3-point shot, and this time Heather Sealer connects. Her second tray, she now has 8.
Doesn't seem as though we're marking as close as we were at the beginning of the game. And this is something the Dons need to pick back up on and stay close to their man. Double up when South Dakota has the ball and pick back up.
Nicely for 3, and that stops a 9-0 South Dakota State run. Courtney Nicely with her first bucket of the afternoon. Another 3-point shot by Schlegel. That's no good. Off the hands of Johnson, out of bounds.
Courtney Nicely is sort of our silent weapon. She doesn't say much, really quiet, but when she gets that ball, she can be lethal.
Timeout on the floor. 7:41 left until halftime. 18-14 our score. South Dakota State on top. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This month on IPFW Up Close, we're going to tell you about a workshop where employers can learn to understand and manage a diverse workforce. We'll also take a look at how that workforce has changed over the past 20 years here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll also be talking about a program at IPFW called First Year Experience. We'll talk with those in charge and the students who are involved in the program, and you're going to hear some very surprising results. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access, Channel 56.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Harry Gate Sports Center. Mike Maas, Sarah Labe with you. 7:41 left in the first half. South Dakota State, on the strength of a 9-0 run, has taken an 18-14 lead over IPFW. Sarah, the Mastodons cooling off. They're now 40% shooting on 6 of 15. South Dakota State warming up. They're 30% on 6 of 20. But the rebounding, South Dakota State has a nice edge right now.
The rebounding is atrocious. We're being out-rebounded 14-8, and I wonder if the Dons are more focused on getting back to mark up man-on-man, that they're not saying, hey, we're down there, let's get the ball. And maybe that's what they need to do. Let's focus on getting the ball in that net. Our defense is good. We're getting back quick. Let's stay strong.
Sealer knocks down her third tray of this first half. She now is in double figures with 11 points, and that is a concern for IPFW. The lead up to 7 at 21-14. Maria Bibbs has it stripped away. Back comes South Dakota State. Another three ball. This time, Stephanie Bolden has the honors.
We got Jay Green with a little bit of enthusiasm, carrying her team down the court. Let's see what we can get going on.
IPFW needing some offense here. And now trail by 10. Jana Lewis Carlisle knocks down a big three, a badly needed three. She now has 10 points.
Now we see the Dons with a little bit of second energy here, getting back on time.
Nearly a steal by Bibbs. Substitutions, O'Connell in for IPFW. And it looks like Vertigan. Sarah Meckley, a 6-foot freshman, number 40. And I think Christina Gilbert.
You see South Dakota State making a lot of substitutions. I wonder if that's where they're getting their energy. IPFW's made some dramatic changes, but not as many as South Dakota State.
Vertigan for three, and South Dakota State is now 5 of 11 from three-point range. They now lead 27-17.
Those 3 points are killing the Dons.
AJ Ashley Johnson wants to drive. Shot is missed, but she draws the foul, and she'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Foul is on Shannon Schlegel, her second, team fifth. So Ashley Johnson, the sophomore from Kokomo, will go to the line. And AJ on the year, 77% free throw shooter, and she's been the one consistent bright spot, Sarah, for this ball club.
Oh, she has. And what's so great is she's young. And she's just going to continuously improve, and she's just going to show, I think she's going to definitely come to be a leader on this team.
Natalie Roberts and Lindsay Bayer make their first appearances for Bruce Patterson's ball club. Second free throw good by Johnson. She's perfect 2 of 2. And the lead is cut to 8, 27-19 as we near the 6-minute mark.
We see Coach Patterson making these changes, and I think that's what's going to be needed. This energy is what Coach Patterson would like to see out there. And maybe keeping some of those players in for a longer period of time isn't the right way to go. Gilbert with the layup. Her first points of the day, and the lead's back up to 10 at 29-19. Whistle away from the ball. It looks like it's going to be a foul on South Dakota State. We got Natalie Roberts out there with some height now, so hopefully we can get a little Goliath versus Goliath going rather than David versus Goliath. Looks like Vertigan picks up her third foul, we think. 16th foul on South Dakota State. Critical for the Dons to score at this juncture. They're down 10 with 5.5 minutes to play and a half. Natalie Roberts, spin move, shot knocked away. They keep trying to force that ball underneath the net, maybe working the ball on the outside. They're getting the time and taking those three-point shots. Would give the Dons a little bit better luck because they're getting stripped away every time into the net.
Johnson to inbound it.
We have Hillary O'Connell with 1-3. Maybe if we can get the ball back out to her, she can hit another.
She had 15 points against Corpus Christi. Johnson off the glass and in. AJ with her first field goal of the afternoon. She now has 4 points. And the lead is down to 8, 29-21.
AJ very quick to defense.
Gilbert from the high post. 14-foot shot, no good by Meckley.
These substitutions are giving the Dons energy. This is what we need. Right back down the court.
Pass intended for Johnson and a collision between Meckley and Johnson. Ball goes out of bounds.
She was hacked, Mike. There's no question about that. Directly in the middle of the legs. Well, I don't think the referees saw it that way.
Looks like they're letting things go. Dons inbound the basketball. They trail 29-21 with 4:45 to go in a half. Again, South Dakota State playing man-to-man defense. AJ for three, off the rim, no. Bolden comes down with the boards.
Another rebound lost. But IPFW quick to defend.
3-point shot, no good by Meckley. And here comes Hillary O'Connell back the other way. Lindsey Baer, the freshman from Nebraska. Nicely from long distance, yes. Courtney Nicely with her second tray.
Silent but deadly, I'm telling you, Mike. Not very vocal, but a leader in so many other ways.
29-24, the lead down to 5. Inside feed to Meckley. Nice pass from Christina Gilbert to Sarah Meckley, and Meckley is in the scorebook with her first points. Baer off the mark on a three. Ball goes out of bounds, and when we come back, it'll be South Dakota State basketball. Timeout on the floor. 3:41 left in the first half. Our score, South Dakota State 31, IPFW 24. You're watching IPFW women's basketball on College 56 Sports.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. I made you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, Mike Moss, Sarah Labe with you. 3:41 left until halftime, and Sarah, IPFW hanging around thanks primarily to a couple of threes by Courtney Nicely and Jonna Lewis Carlisle. They trail by 7, 31-24.
Yes, they do. Ashley Johnson's really playing a effect in the score here today, too. Maybe not points and number-wise, but she's definitely leading this team down the court, up and down, and with energy and some great communication. We don't see her out there right now, but I do believe she will be re-entering the game here soon. Coach Patterson is not tended to keep her out very long.
Player control foul on Heather Sealer, her first, team 7th. It's the 3rd player control foul here in the first half called on South Dakota State. So here come the Mastodons. Jonna Lewis Carlisle scored the first 7 IPFW points. O'Connell lost it. Here come the Jackrabbits back the other way. They do pass the ball well. 3-point shot up and in by Megan Vogel. Her first points of the afternoon.
Let's take into account age and experience here. South Dakota State has a Division II championship under their belt. Not many underclassmen, where we have a great mix of seniors, junior out there, and mainly freshmen. And South Dakota State just isn't utilizing their younger players. So we have a lot of seniority versus some newbies out there.
The ball was kicked by a Jackrabbit, so they'll reset the 30-second shot clock. And Hillary O'Connell will put the ball into play with 2:48 to go here in the half.
If IPFW can close this gap before half, the second half of this game will be very exciting. It will give the Dons something to look forward to at halftime. It'll definitely be a great motivator, something we can definitely utilize.
They're going to call a foul on Andrea Vertigan. Okay, that is her third, team's 8th, so we're missing a foul on an individual someplace, but bottom line is Courtney Nicely has a chance to cut the deficit with no time going off the clock. 1 and bonus. First one is good. Courtney, the senior from Lebanon, Indiana, played her high school ball at Western Boone.
Courtney has developed so much as a student athlete over 4 years, as always being dynamic, but so much more as a contributor to this team.
She makes them both. The Dons are 4 of 4 at the stripe here in the first half, and the lead is down to 7. Feed inside.
Wide open.
6'2" Courtney Grimsrud makes her first appearance and scores her first basket. 35-26. The South Dakota State lead is 9.
Mastodons moving the ball well around the arc.
Bayer drives to the hole, misses it, gets a second chance, misses it again. Now we got a whistle, and they're going to say that Lindsay was stepped on the end line.
Bayer fighting a little bit in there, which is what we need. We can't turn around and play defense right away.
So South Dakota State, as we near the 2-minute mark, brings the ball up the floor. Sealer thought about a 3. Driving to the hole and putting it off the glass is Vogel, and she's come and scored 5 quick points. Now the lead is 11, and it's imperative for IPFW to get that deficit into single digits.
The 5 quick points by Vogel is something that IPFW really needs to recognize and say, hey, Shannon Schlegel and some of these other girls aren't the only girls we have to watch.
Ball is kicked out of bounds. Substitution. Sarita DeBoer back in the lineup.
So frequently before games, players will take a look at the stats and the sheets and what's on paper and focus on a certain player, and sometimes those players are just off, and I think Vogel is someone from South Dakota State that the Dons really need to watch today.
AJ Ashley Johnson checks in for Lindsay Bayer for IPFW. Jenna Lewis Carlisle to inbound the basketball. She's looking and looking, almost used up the whole 5 seconds, and now to give and go, and they turn it over.
As I said, Ashley Johnson's back in the lineup on the court for the Dons, and with 1 minute and 25 left to go, that's a lot of time for her to make a difference.
Courtney Nicely guilty of the foul, her first, team 6th, but she denied Sarita DeBoer a bucket. She's going to make her earn it from the stripe. As you see Bruce Patterson there. Free throw is missed. So after making 4 in a row, Sarita DeBoer shows that she's human. She has 1 more free throw coming. And that one's good.
Sarita's got 5 points for this afternoon so far.
All from the charity stripe. It's 38-26 with 80 seconds left in the half. O'Connell for a 3, no good. Lewis Carlisle fights for the ball. They're going to say it's IPFW ball, but Jenna Lewis Carlisle slow in getting up.
It's a great fight. That's the effort that it's going to take to beat this team.
She will inbound the basketball.
This time is very crucial to close this lead.
And Lewis Carlisle throws it away, but a little Christmas present from Megan Vogel as she stepped on the end line, or sideline I should say.
We're playing very far away from the basket here. We're not working up as close as we used to be, and we're getting very slow up to that 3-point mark. Just beyond the half isn't going to cut it in terms of points.
Molly Martin in the lineup now for the Dons with 1 minute to go in the half. Dons trail 38-26. And Jackrabbits now are extending their defense. nicely screaming for the ball. She throws up a three, no good. Vogel with the rebound. Jackrabbits now slow it up. Sealer's pass knocked away, picked up by Martin. And here come the Dons. 7-second differential. Shot clock, first half game clock. PFW needing a bucket badly. Bibbs in the block. No good. AJ with the rebound.
AJ's getting triple teamed out there. We're going to have to work the ball around and maybe not utilize her so much and utilize her more on a defensive end.
Molly Martin missed a three, and then Dons throw it away, and Sealer takes it the length of the court, off the glass and in. Heather Sealer now with 13 points. Johnson, no good at the buzzer. So we played 20 minutes of basketball here this afternoon, and as the teams head into the locker room, the visitors from South Dakota State lead IPFW 40-26. Quick thought in the first half, Sarah.
This is crucial. This is the time where Coach Barrison's going to have to take the half and really utilize it to his best advantage and take those girls in the locker room and do something to light a fire under them, because they started great and they faded off a little bit. So let's see what the second half has to bring, Mike.
Now again, our halftime score, 40-26. South Dakota State with the lead. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to sit down and chat with the IPFW interim men's head basketball coach, Joe Pachota. So please stay tuned. IPFW volleyball will continue in a moment here on College 50, IPFW basketball.
There you go, Mike.
Get my brain straight here. We'll continue in a moment here on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
You know, she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour. Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This month on IPFW Up Close, we're going to tell you about a workshop where employers can learn to understand and manage a diverse workforce. We'll also take a look at how that workforce has changed over the past 20 years here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll also be talking about a program at IPFW called First Year Experience. We'll talk with those in charge and the students who are involved in the program, and you're going to hear some very surprising results. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access, Channel 56.
It was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do? I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
And at the break, the visitors from South Dakota State lead IPFW 40-26. Joining us now to chat for a few minutes, and I'm happy to have him with us, the interim head coach of IPFW men's basketball, Joe Pachota. First and foremost, JP, thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time. Your thoughts on this first half here this afternoon?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a pretty good 16 minutes by the women. That last 4 minutes, they gave up a couple easy ones late in that red zone, but to get it to 14. I think we're going to have a pretty good half in the second half. We've got to take away some of those easy scores, rotating defensively, but, they started getting some shots dropping late in the first half, so I look forward to a good second half for our women.
Let's talk about your ball club. You've taken over, as everyone knows by now, for Doug, and you are 1-3, but the team has been competitive in all 4 games. Talk about what it's been like for your first 4 games as a collegiate head coach.
Well, we're getting where we need to be. Like you said, I think we've made a lot of strides in areas that aren't going to show up on the box score and areas that won't show up in the paper, but we see it on film. The guys see it on film. I like the way that we're competing and the intensity in which we're doing things. Need to clean up some of our execution a little bit, which down the road will help us, will pay some dividends for us as far as wins and losses.
You've got an interesting road trip coming up. You're in the middle of a 6-game road trip. You've played 3, you have 3 more. Tomorrow morning, you guys are going to get on a bus, go to the airport, get on a plane, and go down to Texas. And on Monday night, you're going to play Texas Pan American, and on Wednesday night, you're going to play Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Talk about those 2 upcoming games.
You're right. We get back on the road and start racking up some more frequent flyer miles and staying in hotels, and we're kind of used to that by now. But we look forward to 2 really good games down in Texas. Both ball clubs are really experienced. They've got a lot of seniors. We have one in David. But I think we've got something to prove on this trip. We've had 2 really good days of practice. I was pleased with our physical performance and how we got after it. But now the one thing I stress to the guys more than anything is we cannot leave that here. We've got to take that with us. We do that down at Pan Am and Corpus Christi, we're going to be right where we want to be.
The last game you played, unfortunately, you had to play shorthanded due to some unfortunate circumstances. Are the 2 players that are missing back, or are you going to have mostly a full squad to go down to Texas?
We won't have full. We'll probably be 1 short. We're still waiting on a final diagnosis on Andrew Bourne and his knee situation. But other than that, we should have everybody back and ready to go when the bus leaves for the airport at 6 tomorrow morning.
Coach, tell me comfort-wise, how are the players handling you coming in as a coach, and how do you feel? Are you guys comfortable? Are you back in the routine of things?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where when I slid over, they were used to me. They know how I am, and at the same time, too, they know what they can get from me and what I expect from them. So the transition's been pretty smooth, and like I said before, it's one of those things where we haven't seen it in the win and loss column yet, but eventually we will.
You guys have been on the road a lot. Is that taking a toll on your practices, on the energy of the guys? Are you guys going to be able to come back and go to Texas with the energy that you would have if you were home for the past couple weeks?
Yeah, I'm going to make them. But the road, it is taxing, and it gets old. Some people think that the road is a vacation, you get a chance to relax, but, work's going to follow you. So I think the guys have done a great job thus far. We still have 3 to go, 2 tough ones at Texas, then we end up with another MAC school at Eastern Michigan that's good at home. So the road is long and it's weary, but I think we're going to be okay.
Great. I want to take a quick look back at the women's game. If you were coaching the women's team right now, what would you be saying to them in the locker room right now to sort of get ready for the second half?
I think it's one of those things where you just have to stay the course. From what I've seen and what I've talked to Chris a little bit, they've got a pretty good game plan for this afternoon. South Dakota State's very well coached, but we are too. So give me a couple of easy shots to drop and take away some of their easy looks that they've had in the first half that help them build some momentum, and we'll be fine.
Joe, final question, and we'll let you go because I know you've got a busy day, a few days ahead. You've got 9 games left here in the season with the men's team. What do you hope to accomplish both as a team and individually?
I think team-wise, I want to keep getting better and playing good basketball. Not just on game nights, but every day in practice. We had a great practice today over at Spies. So I look forward to winning some games out of the last 9 that we have. Individually, the same thing as far as getting the guys better and getting us better individually and as a cohesive unit. And then at the end of 2 months, we'll let the chips fall where they may.
We appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. Good luck on the trip, safe trip. Come back with 2 or 3 wins, and hopefully better things will happen these last 9 games.
That sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you. For some great things from you guys this season, so thank you.
Thank you.
Our guest has been Joe Pachota, the interim head men's basketball coach here at IPFW. We'll take a break, and Sarah and I will come back and talk about the first half of this game, and we'll talk about what's going to happen in the second half as well. Again, our halftime score, South Dakota State 40, IPFW 26. You're watching IPFW women's basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's gonna happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to go out maybe or something, if you had time.
I can tell by your excitable behavior and verbal faux pas that you have generalized anxiety with paranoid tendencies. It would never work.
Okay, thanks.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This month on IPFW Up Close, we're going to tell you about a workshop where employers can learn to understand and manage a diverse workforce. We'll also take a look at how that workforce has changed over the past 20 years here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll also be talking about a program at IPFW called First Year Experience. We'll talk with those in charge and the students who are involved in the program, and you're going to hear some very surprising results. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access, Channel 56.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Moss, Sarah Labe with you again. It's halftime, and our halftime score: South Dakota State 40, IPFW 26. And Sarah, we've got the numbers in front of us. What appeals to you one way or the other after this first 20 minutes of action?
What appeals to me most is the change in pace. You have field goals percentages changing back and forth, mainly because of the streaks that South Dakota State will have a few good runs, and then IPFW will have a few good runs. It's just been back and forth the whole time. South Dakota State's 5 of 6, IPFW's 4 of 4 for free throws. It's just continuously changing.
Two numbers to look forward to real quick. Rebounding, South Dakota State with a 20-15 advantage. Turnovers, IPFW's turned it over 11 times to 8 for South Dakota State. Real quickly, what do you look forward to seeing in the second half? I look forward to seeing a lot more rebounds from IPFW. Every time they miss a shot, I look forward to them getting it right in there and digging in and really fighting for that ball. Well, again, our halftime score, 40-26. We'll take our final break and get ready for the second half of play. Again, you're watching IPFW Women's Basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's gonna happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This month on IPFW Up Close, we're going to tell you about a workshop where employers can learn to understand and manage a diverse workforce. We'll also take a look at how that workforce has changed over the past 20 years here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll also be talking about a program at IPFW called First Year Experience. We'll talk with those in charge and the students who are involved in the program, and you're going to hear some very surprising results. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access, Channel 56.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Away from the start of the second half. Again, Mike Miles, Sarah Lade with you as you get a look at the IPFW bench. Real briefly, Sarah, each team with one player in double figures scoring here in the first half. For South Dakota State, Heather Sealer, on the strength of 3 3-point shots, has 13 points. And Jana Lewis Carlisle, with a couple of trays, has come back and scored 10 for IPFW. But again, second half, what does IPFW have to do to get back into this game?
Well, I think one thing to look for in the second half is let's see if the teams look to these numbers. Let's see how they mark up. And let's see how they defend. It's going to be a huge thing to watch for. But IPFW needs to dig deep. I think Coach Patterson needs to continually make the subs as he did in the latter part of the first half and see if they can maintain the energy that they started the game with.
Looks like the same starters from both teams to start this second half of play. IPFW with the basketball. Courtney nicely takes the shot and misses, but she draws the foul. And Megan Vogel picks up her second. So Courtney Nicely, who had 2 free throws in the first half, will shoot 2 more here. We've played 8 seconds here in the second half. And the first free throw was good.
A great chance for Courtney again to close the gap.
Misses the second one, rebounded by Heather DeBoer. And here comes the South Dakota State. And they throw it away.
Courtney holds a lot of unwritten power in this game. As I said before, her being silent but deadly, she does. The girls look up to her a lot. They look for her for commands and for her body motions as well to see what she's going to do.
IPFW going from right to left on your television screen. They're in the light-colored uniforms. Nicely spin move. Shot no good. Rebounded by Stephanie Bolden.
The more chances that Courtney Nicely takes, the more opportunities that the other girls see to say, hey, let's take this shot.
Bruce Patterson screaming for a 3-second call on Heather DeBoer. Inside feed to Schlegel. And Shannon goes up with the shot and she's fouled. They call Jana Lewis Carlisle for the foul. Her first, team first here in the second half. So Shannon Schlegel, the leading scorer, came into the game averaging 15, almost 15 and a half points, but she only had 4.
I think Coach Patterson's looking for the Dons to cut off those lanes. The open passing lanes right underneath the net that shoot right back out to the 3, and that seems to be what he is vocalizing to the team.
Schlegel makes a pair from the stripe. She now has a half a dozen points, and the lead is 42-27. South Dakota State staying in their man-to-man defense. Boy, a little mugging going on down low between Bolden and Courtney Nicely. Courtney drives again. Nearly lost it. 5 on the shot clock. And Bibbs loses the basketball.
Not seeing a whole lot of movement out of Bibbs today. Not very much movement underneath the basket, and pretty much got her feet planted when she gets the ball. Let's see if we can get some movement out of her.
South Dakota State turned it back over now. They've turned it over 10 times, IPFW 12.
In the first half, IPFW was really really able to capture these great opportunities that South Dakota State was giving them.
Three-point shot by Hillary O'Connell is good.
Once again, that's where they capture these Christmas presents just given to them by South Dakota State.
South Dakota State comes right back. Megan Vogel now has a half a dozen points. IPFW cannot trade baskets. They've got to score and play some D. Whoa, Hillary O'Connell collided with Shannon Schlegel, and the ball went off of Hillary's hands out of bounds.
It's tough to see what the referees are seeing in this game, whether they're getting hacked or whether they're going for the ball and who it's going off of. I don't know if we have different views or what's going on here, Mike, but it seems to be IPFW is taking a couple hack jobs today.
Looks like a foul's called on Courtney Nicely. Her second, team second. And Bruce Patterson just had a what in the heck look on his face. Vogel missed a tray. Here comes IPFW back down the floor. The speedy Shawnee Lewis Carlisle couldn't get the shot to fall. Shows her frustration there, but she will go to the line to shoot two.
A lot of emotion comes through when Carlisle plays, and this is where you're going to see if she makes these two baskets, she'll light a fire underneath herself. Very self-motivated, very passionate about the game.
Johnny Lewis Carlisle, freshman from Henry Clay High School in Lexington, Kentucky. Makes the first. She now has 11 points. Jenny Green in the lineup for IPFW. And we got a violation for Rhea Bibbs. Stepped into the lane before Jana Lewis could shoot the free throw.
Rhea Bibbs is looking a tiny bit unfocused today. Let's see if she can get her head in the game and really be an asset to this team as she has been in the past.
(44-31) our score. South Dakota State on top. 3-second call called on the Jackrabbits.
Over the past 4 years, Rhea Bibbs has been fighting some injuries to her knee and some other things. And this past week, she was fighting a little bit with her ankle and whatnot, I believe. Let's see if maybe that is having an effect on her game, and maybe it is.
She hobbled in practice on Thursday. Three or a long two. And they're calling it a three. The board comes right back, and I think it's an offensive foul.
The gap is close to 10, by the way. This is very crucial. IPFW has the ball back. Jenny Green did come in for Courtney Nicely, which complements the team very well when Coach Patterson makes that change. It goes to a completely different player, completely different style of play than what Courtney plays. Jenny's very vocal, very dynamic, and I think what changes the motivation of this team a little bit. And both of them work very well for the team, but sometimes the change is necessary.
AJ missed a shot, but Varia got the rebound. Three-pointer from AJ is good. So Johnson now with 7 points.
Defense is crucial. The Dons are up, the motivation, the communication's going. They need to stay focused. This is very key.
Lead down to 7. And now AJ tries for a steal. Three-pointer by Stephanie Bolden is a dagger in the heart. So the South Dakota State lead back up to 10 at 47-37. We played 3.5 minutes here in the second half. Bibbs in the low block, wants to drive on DeBoer.
A win today is what the Mastodons need, and this is crucial.
Stealing layup by Jenna Lewis Carlisle. And South Dakota State is going to call a timeout.
South Dakota State, I think, is maybe shaking in their boots a little bit over there. A little confused on where this team came from. This isn't the same team that you saw at the end of the first half.
Keep up with IPFW women's basketball each week by tuning into the Bruce Patterson Show. It can be seen Tuesdays at 10:30, Thursdays at 6:30, Fridays at 5, and Saturdays at noon here on College 56. Coach Patterson is joined by yours truly, Mike Miles. We review recent games, we talk with players and guests, and we preview upcoming action as well. Again, that's the Bruce Patterson Show. Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m., Thursdays at 6:30 p.m., Fridays at 5 p.m., and Saturdays at noon, right here on College Cable Access Channel 56.
You know,
got a replay coming here, Sarah.
That's the fire. That is the fire that keeps her going. I'm looking at the eyes of the IPFW Mastodons right now, and the look that I see is much different than I saw going into the halftime. They look very determined, and this game is very possible for them. They don't see this as lost yet.
Now it's 47-38. South Dakota State calls the timeout. They lead by 9. They'll inbound the ball. And here comes Heather Sealer up the floor. IPFW staying in man-to-man defense, and they throw it away. DeBoer.
Jenny Green right there in case South Dakota State player was right behind her, and IPFW is able to take control.
It is now 13 turnovers on South Dakota State. And let's see if the Dons can take advantage of the turnover there.
Seeing a little more movement from Rhea Bibbs.
Shauna Lewis Carlisle goes all the way in, off the glass and in. 8 points in the second half now for Lewis Carlisle. Lead is down to 7. Three-point shot is missed.
Great pressure by Hillary.
But Schlegel gets the offensive board and she misses. And here come the Dons on the run. AJ Ashley Johnson, spin move. Shot up and in. Johnson now with 9 points. And the lead is down to 5, 47-42.
South Dakota State is looking a little slow out there. They're not quick to get back on defense. They keep looking over their coach, who's not saying much on the bench. You got Coach Patterson with a great assistance. Chris Paul, Alan Buck, Niecy Nelson, all being vocal and all talking to their team.
Timeout on the floor, 15-11 to go. Dons trail by 5, 47-42. You're watching IPFW Women's Basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's gonna happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Back to the action. IPFW unfortunately just threw the ball away. But the Dons have made a run and they trail by 5, 47-42.
These girls are very intelligent. They know that this is their court and this is what they need after the losses they've had to turn this season around and get back in it. I think they're going to do whatever it takes.
Vogel wants to drive on O'Connell. She nearly turned it over, but she got the ball to Shannon Schlegel, and Schlegel knocks down the shot. Schlegel now with 8 points, and the lead is back up to 7. AJ slices and dices for 2.
We are seeing a lot out of AJ and John Lewis Carlisle this afternoon. That is just something that I did not expect to see today.
Inside feed to Schlegel, and Shannon uses her height advantage to knock that one down. She's now in double figures with 10 points. Ashley Johnson comes right back. So right now the Dons have got some offense. They need to play some defense. 51-46, 13:49 to go. And traveling called on South Dakota State.
Very crucial for the Dons. This is what they need. South Dakota State has a 5-point lead. Not enough to call this game.
Couple of substitutions. Stephanie Bolden back in and making her first appearance today is Corey Dickmeyer, a 5'5" sophomore from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Dons with the ball. Lewis Carlisle knocks a little jumper down. So IPFW
the smallest
scoring
lead
some
we've seen in a
points.
while.
Now can they play some defense? Again, South Dakota State working inside. Schlegel drives past Jenny Green.
The Dons are not playing bad defense. They're not double teaming as much as they were in the first half. However, I think they're really focused on cutting down this lead.
Nice feed to Bibbs. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Chris Patterson says, why no foul?
All the coaches jumping off the bench for that one. I really think the referees are seeing something different than the benches over this way.
Starla Williams, 6'2" sophomore from Lindenhurst, Illinois, makes her first appearance for IPFW. Try to neutralize some of that height. O'Connell misses the three. Gilbert with the rebound for South Dakota State.
Starla does have to utilize her height, and she's going to have to go out for those rebounds and be just as tough as South Dakota is.
53-48. We're under 13 minutes to go here at the Gate Center. And whistle away from the ball. 3-second call on South Dakota State. Turned the ball over 8 times in the first half. They've already turned it over 8 times in the first just under, or a little over 7 minutes of the second half.
These are the moments, Mike. This is what IPFW needs to take advantage of. And this is what South Dakota's given us to close this lead. Great pressure.
AJ being watched by Stephanie Bolden. O'Connell for 3. Yes! Hillary O'Connell has her second tray. And the lead is down to a deuce. Gilbert in the block with a turnaround shot. Christina Gilbert now with 4 points.
IPFW very much so a team here. You see all the players on the bench getting involved, talking to the players on the court, just all working together, which is really boosting the morale here.
AJ has it stripped. 3-on-2 break for South Dakota State. Stop and a move by Corey Dickmeyer. Big bucket for South Dakota State.
See Coach Patterson looking at the bench, seeing what changes he can make here.
The immediate timeout, next dead ball. O'Connell rubs off a Jenny Green pick, fires a 3, no good.
No good, no rebound
Schlegel with
either.
the rebound. Sealer drives the lane and she's fouled. Heather Sealer will go to the line. And she'll shoot 2, and she'll shoot them after we come back from this timeout. And they're still waiting to see. Going to call a foul on Starla Williams. We got timeout on the floor. 11:26 to go. South Dakota State with a 57-51 lead. You're watching IPFW women's basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
It
was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Mike Massera laid with you. 11:26 to go. IPFW began the second half trailing South Dakota State by 14, but they've cut 8 points into that deficit. They now trail 57-51. Heather Sealer at the line for a pair, and she knocks down the first one. She has been a thorn in the side of IPFW this afternoon. You can see the replay there.
Let's take a quick look at what IPFW is looking for. I believe Coach Patterson's looking for Starla Williams to use her height and get some of those rebounds. Not so much looking for the fouls, but looking to come up with the ball. I also want to highlight Carlisle and Johnson, both Carlisle with 19 points and Johnson with 13 points, both in double digits here, and they're leading to this deficit here.
Molly Martin's also on the down lineup, and she's going to throw up a three. No good. Sealer gets the board for South Dakota State. Nearly throws it away. Now she'll fire a three. No good. Jenny Green pulls down the board. And she is fouled, I believe, by Megan Vogel.
As I said, we see Molly Martin back in the lineup. Not seeing as much as her as we normally would due to an illness and a rough week this past week. But the minutes she has played, she's played a great role getting the team back on track and keeping them focused.
Sarita DeBoer and Sarah Meckley in the lineup for South Dakota State. IPFW with the basketball. They trail by 8, 59-51. O'Connell cuts into that with another three. That's 3 trays for the sophomore from Warsaw. She had 15 points in her last game at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Coming right back is Corey Dickmeyer.
The defense has got to stay strong, and it's not as strong as it was when we first came into the second half.
We're nearing the midway point of the second half. It's 62-54. And Jenny Green's going to be called for the player control foul. Her third, team fourth here in the second half. Stephanie Bolden comes back into the Jackrabbit lineup.
Jenny Green plays some great defense, and she does have some great picks, and she watches out for her players. So it's tough to say when the ref's going to call it and when she's not. And the ref seems to have her eye on Jenny today.
Sealer playing the quarterback position right now. .12 on the shot clock. Sealer. 5 on the clock. The Boer with a baseline jumper. Her first points of the second half. Tough when you play 28 seconds a D. AJ comes right back, and are they gonna count it? They're gonna call a player control foul on Ashley Johnson, but are they gonna count the bucket? I'm not sure. AJ's first, team fifth, but I guess they're not going to allow the bucket. Andrea Vertigan back in the lineup, and she'll bring the ball up the floor now for Coach Aaron Johnston. 64-54 with 9:20 to go. Dons trail by 10.
IPFW is looking left to right a little unsure on the defense.
3-point shot is missed by Meckley. O'Connell comes down with the board for IPFW. AJ rubs off a Williams pick. Little dish. Williams misses the jumper. Bolden gets the rebound for South Dakota State. Down to 8:41 to go. Inside feed to DeBoer. Sarita DeBoer knows what to do with it.
Just waiting to see Starla Williams really come out on defense here, and I haven't seen a whole lot from her. She's had a couple nice battle ways to give Hillary O'Connell some rebounds, but she's not marking very well in the net.
Bruce Patterson calls timeout, gives us a chance to tell you that for tickets to IPFW athletic events, you can call 260-481-6000, or you can go to the IPFW athletic website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. Tickets are available for individual events or mini-season ticket packages. Also, those ticket packages are available for the remainder of the men's and women's basketball seasons. Again, by phone, 260-481-6000, or online at www.ipfw.edu/athletics for tickets. Third timeout called by Bruce Patterson. He has 2 left. South Dakota State has 3.
We've got some changes to notice, and let's see if this makes a difference.
On the floor, Jenny Green, Varia Bibbs, Courtney Nicely, Molly Martin, and Ashley Johnson. AJ will put it into play. Inside feed picked off by DeBoer. Pass intended for Bibbs. Give and go. Shot up and in by Sarah Meckley. Dons fell asleep at the switch momentarily. And now they trail 68-54 as we near the 8-minute mark.
We just saw Jane Green get knocked down underneath the basket, and South Dakota State is going to play physical. They are not going to take this team lightly anymore.
Bibbs forces up a shot. She's hit, no foul called. And IPFW will retain possession when we return. The timeout on the floor, 7:56 to go. Our score, Jackrabbits 68, Mastodons 54. You're watching IPFW Women's Basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there. Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do? I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Back to the action. IPFW trailing 68-54. Just under 8 minutes to go here in the ball game. Shauna Lewis-Carlisle with a spinning jumper. Shauna Lewis now has 21 points. The lead is down to a dozen.
So amazing, Mike, how the tempo of this game continuously changes from team to team.
Bibbs with a steal. Good defensive play by Varia Bibbs. Back come the Dons, and again as Shauna Lewis-Carlisle forces up a shot. And they're going to call a player control foul on IPFW. Varia Bibbs picks up her second. And Bruce Patterson, in all honesty, is beside himself.
IPFW has not had the majority of the calls go their way tonight, and the coaching staff seems a little bit upset about that.
Well, all you ask of an official is to be consistent. Stephanie Bolden will fire a 3 and hit. Oh, they're going to call it a long 2. Bolden now with 10 points.
Defense is breaking down a little bit here. We need to make sure that man-on-man pressure is consistent.
Jenny Green cut off. Tries to find Bibbs, but turns it over instead. Mackley for three, in and out. No. Bibbs with the rebound.
Twice in a row, the top of the key has been left wide open.
70-56. Dons trail by 14.
Again, you see the toughness and the physicality of South Dakota State as Courtney Nicely attempted to take that shot.
Three-pointer missed by Johnny Lewis Carlisle. They say last touch by Heather DeBoer. A.J. Ashley Johnson in the lineup for IPFW. Vogel, Schlegel, and Sealer back in the lineup for South Dakota State.
Molly Martin comes off the court a little upset. You can see that she doesn't see why they're losing these points, and I think she knows that there's no reason that this should not be a dead even game, if not an IPFW lead.
Courtney Nicely knocks down a triple. That is her third tray of the afternoon. And it's 70-59. And now we got a pushing foul on Heather DeBoer. Sarita DeBoer, I'm sorry.
Great thing to see is we see Courtney Nicely and Jenny Green both out on the court at the same time. This is Coach Bruce Patterson using his guards and utilizing them to the best of his ability. I mean, you got some of his greater players out there on the court. So seeing them both on the court at the same time should show us something great.
Johnny Lewis Carlisle brings the ball up the floor for IPFW. We trail by 11. Turnaround jumper, no good by Nicely. They fight for the rebound, and Courtney's going to get called for reaching in. That is her third, team seventh. So South Dakota State, with 5:56 to go, will be in the bonus situation. As a team, South Dakota State came into the game hitting 72% of their free throws. It'll be Megan Vogel at the line, 1 and 1. Vogel, 82% from the line. And she got the friendly roll as Jenny Green hits the deck hard.
Both teams have given away the ball quite frequently. Both teams are tied with 17 turnovers apiece, which we're giving each other Christmas gifts left and right. And unfortunately, South Dakota State has been able to hit a few more threes than us to take that lead.
Another free throw hit. So Vogel 2 of 2 at the stripe. And the lead is up to a baker's dozen, 72-59, with 5:45 to go. Now you can see South Dakota State extending their man-to-man defense.
Jenny Green with a great pick.
Johnny Lewis Carlisle for another three. She had a career-high 26 against Akron, and now she's got 24, and now South Dakota State turns it over. Stephanie Bolden back in the lineup for Megan Vogel for South Dakota State, but with 5:31 to go, IPFW down by 10 has the basketball.
Without a doubt, today will be some of Carlisle's greatest basketball. She's moving the ball well, she's putting the ball in the net, playing great defense and communicating well, just playing great basketball today.
Another three ball, yes! Career high, 27 points for Johnny Lewis Carlisle. More importantly, the lead is down to 7, 72-65. Now is the time for some defense for IPFW. And unfortunately, Jenny Green got beat in the back door by Shannon Schlegel.
Reading the game here is very important. IPFW's got to watch the ball.
4:51 to go. IPFW in a dogfight. AJ being hounded by Bolden. Forces a shot up, no, but Bibbs is there for the offensive putback. Faria Bibbs now with a half a dozen points.
This is where Bibbs is going to come in strong. She's a little slow off the ball today, so if she can stand in that net, get those rebounds, and put that ball up, this is where her strength is going to come.
Shannon Schlegel just nailed a three. And Bruce Patterson calls timeout with 4:18 left. And his Dons are trailing 77-67. It's a 30-second timeout. IPFW now with just one left. Want me to read a promo? Join interim head coach Joe Pachota on College 56 for Dons basketball, with highlights and insights on the Mastodons from the coach and his guest. Yours truly, Mike Maz, hosts the show. It can be seen on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Thursdays at 10:30, Fridays at 6:30 p.m., and Saturdays at 12:30. Again, Don's basketball seen here on College Cable Access Channel 56. And again, we thank Joe Pachota for being on with us at halftime today. Well, Coach Lake, 4:18 left, you're down 10. What are you telling your team right now?
Stay focused. That there's no way to count yourself out of this game. 4:18 is a long time in basketball, and anything can happen. And I hope that Coach Patterson is looking at his team and saying, hey, let's get fired up. Let's take it to them 100%.
IPFW hitting 44% of their shots, 25 of 57 from the floor, 11 of 25 from three-point range for 44% as well. South Dakota State, 56% shooting, 29 of 52, and they're 8 of 20 from long distance for 40%. Dons have 3 players in double figures, led by Jana Lewis Carlisle with a career-high 27. Now she's got the basketball. Dons have 1 full timeout plus 1 media timeout left to work with. Lewis Carlisle for 3, no good. Loose ball. Going to call Ashley Johnson for the foul. Her second, team 8th.
Coaches again seeing it differently than the referees and along with the players. A little questionable of what we see the refs doing this evening.
Now, what you may not have heard or may have heard through our microphones, the frustration of Bruce Patterson and his staff. The officials, in all honesty, have let a lot of things go this afternoon. Shannon Schlegel at the line, 1 and 1, and she knocks down the first.
South Dakota State can consider these bonus points because they're really not working the ball down the court to earn these shots. Coming off of minor technicalities, IPFW, so this is what they're taking advantage of.
Bonus free throw, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Nicely. So the lead is 11. Don's quickly up the floor. And you know they want the ball in that girl's hands. Jana Lewis Carlisle. Nicely getting mugged by Stephanie Bolden. Her first, team 6th. And when we come back from our final timeout, media timeout, IPFW will inbound the basketball. 3:51 to go, our score, South Dakota State 78, IPFW 67. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. I made you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do? I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
AJ Ashley Johnson inbounds the basketball right in front of us. Dons trail by 11. 3:45 to go. Pass intended for Bibbs. Out of bounds. O'Connell in for Starla Williams for IPFW. It is now 18 turnovers on IPFW. So the teams are even in that department at 18 apiece.
O'Connell's hit some 3 for us. Let's see if she can nail a couple more to even up the score.
3.5 to go. IPFW needs to play some tough defense right now. South Dakota State has the clock on their side. Shot up and in by Andrea Vertigan.
The Dons are getting there. They're just not getting a body on these girls.
80 to 67. O'Connell looking for someone in a white jersey. Pass intended for Bibbs, knocked away. DeBoer off the glass and in. Sarita DeBoer with 6 second-half points.
Here, Coach Patterson again off the bench, communicating to his players, telling them exactly what he wants to see.
2 minutes and 45 seconds of all-out effort. Skip past it nicely. South Dakota State doing a good job of clogging the lanes. AJ loses it. 3 consecutive turnovers on the last 3 IPFW possessions.
They've all been right underneath the net. We have to get Maria Bibbs to really get in there and fight for that ball.
Down to 2:17.
Dons are going to have to mark up, leaving some players wide open.
DeBoer missed the shot. O'Connell with the rebound. Dons need to score in a hurry. Inside feed to Bibbs. Varia puts one in off the glass.
There she is. That's where Bibbs shines.
She now has 8. It's 82-69 with under 2 minutes to go. Nicely with the steal. Courtney Nicely lays it off the glass and in. And 30-second timeout called by South Dakota State.
South Dakota State had to take that timeout. They had, as I see, they had no other option. You got IPFW with the momentum. Courtney Nicely with a great steal. Hillary O'Connell with a great steal underneath the basket. They don't have the momentum right now. IPFW has the ball in their hands and they are ready to go.
You can do more than just sit on the sidelines. Participate in the excitement of Mastodon Athletics by joining the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons is IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy athletics-related special events, priority access to tickets, and more. To learn about the Royal Dons Club, call 260-481-6643. You can write to the Royal Dons Club at 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne 46805. Or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics.
Chris Patterson had the Dons start off right away with a lot of high-pressure defense.
And now Jana Lewis Carlisle will be called for a personal foul. It's her second, team 9th. So it's still 1-1 with 1:38 to go. Heather Sealer, who is 2 of 2 at the line here this afternoon, make it 3 of 3. She knocks down the first.
Taking a look at the IPFW bench, they have faith and they're not counting themselves out.
Bonus free throw is good as well. 17 points now for Heather Sealer.
These next 30 seconds are really going to give you an example on how the game's going to finish, because if Hillary O'Connell and Courtney Nicely and some of these girls can put the ball up.
Bibbs forces one up and she's hammered. The shot's no good. DeBoer hit the floor hard and she's smarting a bit. Sarita DeBoer now has 3 fouls.
You see Bibbs ready, no hesitation.
2-shot foul.
See Coach Patterson looking down the bench, ready to make some changes, get some more energy out there.
First free throw perfect. For Rhea Bibbs now with 9 points. Lindsey Bayer in the lineup for Jana Lewis Carlisle. Ashley Johnson for Rhea Bibbs, Lindsey Bayer, Courtney Nicely, and Hillary O'Connell on the floor for Bruce Patterson's club. Second free throw, no good, rebounded by Schlegel. 80 seconds left, Dons trail, 84-72. Sealer fouled by Lindsey Bayer. Lindsey basically had no choice.
The Dons need to get the ball back and they need to get back down the court, and this is what it's going to take. High pressure defense, forcing the Jackrabbits to shoot the ball, hoping they miss this.
Sealer only a 65% free throw shooter, but she's been perfect today. She's now 5 of 5. Next free throw, good as well.
Still perfect.
Shauna Lewis Carlisle back in the lineup after getting some words of instruction and encouragement from Bruce Patterson. 86-72 with 1:12 to go. Dons need to score and score in a hurry. AJ looking for help.
South Dakota playing some high-pressure defense.
Lob pass for Bibbs. Foul before the shot. Foul's going to be called on Stephanie Bolden.
Bibbs was 1 for 2 at, last time at the line. Let's hope she can hit both these two.
Bayer in for Lewis Carlisle. A little offensive defensive switching here. And Maria Bibbs, as you said, Sarah, hit 1 or 2 a moment ago. It's 1 and 1, I believe. And she knocks the first one down.
Interesting to see where Coach Patterson's focus is, whether it's on defense or offense. And I think he's leaning more towards the offensive side. Let's get the points, because if you can't get the points, you can't close this gap.
86-73 with 57.4 seconds to go. Second free throw on the way. No good. Rebounded by Vertigan, but then stolen. Bibbs too nicely. Dons need to put it up in a hurry. Bayer. South Dakota State doing a good job putting pressure on the outside shooter.
Look for that
They know
three-point.
IPFW has to shoot. Down to 38 seconds. O'Connell forces one up, no good. Loose ball, not calling it. Now South Dakota State calls a timeout, and Bruce Patterson's asking one of the officials why no foul. 30-second timeout called with 32.3 seconds left. So
Coaching staff very upset at this point in time. Not only at the game, but the way things are being called, the change of pace, everything that's going on here.
But you have to give South Dakota State credit the last time down, Sarah, because they knew that IPFW had to take a long shot, and they extended the defense.
Oh, they did.
And made it almost impossible. Looks like they have a replay coming up here, hopefully. We think. Instead, latest Mastodon scores and stats are available on the World Wide Web at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. You can check up on teams, players, and programs anytime you like on the official Mastodon Athletic website. Ball back into play, and Bayer fouls Vertigan.
IPFW again playing high-pressure defense, forcing them to shoot the free throws to get the ball back. It's what they have to do now.
As we said, the foul is on Lindsay Bayer. Her second at the line. Andrea Vertigan shooting 2. Left-handed free throw is good. South Dakota State shooting the ball well from the foul line this afternoon. They're 12 of 13 in the second half at the free throw line. Make it 13 of 14. 88-73 with 28 seconds to go. Dons at this point want to keep it respectable.
Again, South Dakota's pushing them all the way back past the 3. Not letting them in, not letting them take that shot.
Forced jumper in and out, no good. Vogel with the rebound, and now a foul is going to be called on Bibbs. And it's 3 fouls on Varia Bibbs. 10.1 seconds left. IPFW gave it a good go. He just fell a little short. They're about to fall a little short. Megan Vogel at the line for 2. She's 2 of 2 so far today.
South Dakota State very consistent at the line.
Well, they came into the game hitting 72% of their free throws. I think they're going to improve on that average today. 2 for 2 that time by Vogel. And it's 90-73. AJ tries to force up a shot, and it's knocked away. And South Dakota State will run it out, and there goes the horn. Final score, South Dakota State 90, IPFW 73. South Dakota State improves to 15-6. IPFW drops to 2-17. We'll take a break and come back with some final numbers and final thoughts. Again, 90-73 the final. South Dakota State on top. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's gonna happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to go out maybe or something, if you had time.
I can tell by your excitable behavior and verbal faux pas that you have generalized anxiety with paranoid tendencies. It would never work.
Okay, thanks.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do? I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Welcome back to the Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Final score this afternoon, South Dakota State 90, IPFW 73. IPFW trailed by 14 at the break, Sarah Labe. They came back, cut it to 5 at one point, 47-42, but I don't know if they ran out of gas, ran out of size, or what.
Well, let's take a look at the score. You got 90-73, and if you just are tuning in right now and you're looking at the score does not do the Dons any justice for today. If you know anything about South Dakota State, they have a Division II championship underneath their belt, and they were supposed to come in and wipe the floor with us. IPFW really did have some moments during this game where they held the momentum, and they really did take control of this game, so I don't think the score does them justice at all.
Well, let's take a look at some quick numbers. South Dakota State, as we say, they improved to 15-6. 5 players in double figures. Heather Sealer with 19 points, Shannon Schlegel with 18, Sarita DeBoer with 11, Stephanie Bolden with 10, Megan Vogel with 10. Other scoring, Andrea Vertigan with 7, Corey Dickmeyer with 5, 4 apiece for Sarah Meckley and Christina Gilbert, and 2 points for Courtney Grimsrud. For the day, Jackrabbits 31 of 55 from the floor, that's 56%. 8 of 20 from three-point range for 40%, and they were 20 of 22 at the free throw line, that's 91%. IPFW, on the other hand, 27 of 62 from the floor for 44%. They were 11 of 26 from three-point range for 42%, and they were 8 of 11 at the line for 73%. Dons had 4 players in double figures, led by a career performance, 27 points from Jana Lewis Carlisle, 11 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 6 from three-point range, 14 points from Courtney Nicely, 13 points from Ashley Johnson, 10 points from Varia Bibbs, 9 points from Hillary O'Connell, and that was it. Only 5 players scored for IPFW, as opposed to the entire squad for South Dakota State.
Well, let's take a look at Jean Louis Carlisle right now. She's a freshman from Kentucky, which is tremendous. I mean, she's coming in, she's playing this leadership role, totally setting the pace for the Dons every time she takes the ball up the court, doing it with pace, communicating very well to other players. So maybe this is the way we have to see the Dons. Some of these key players just taking control. You see
a replay of Jana Lewis going to knock down one of her threes on the afternoon, and we're going to see another one in a moment. Bruce Patterson said she's got offensive capabilities like nobody's seen for quite a while. The problem that she has, according to Bruce, is she's got to learn to stay focused for 40 minutes and also learn to play defense as well as offense. And
which is very true, which you can see out of Courtney Nicely today. As I said again, silent but deadly, scoring some great points. I think she hit up 14 points today. Good defense, just constantly staying focused and playing tough the whole game. And this will come, I believe, over time for Jean Louis Carlisle, as she is a freshman, and I think she will learn. I think she's going to be a key player for the Dons in the next couple of years.
A couple other numbers of note. Rebound, South Dakota State with a 34-28 advantage. Turnovers, 21-20. IPFW had 21. But the one good thing is they forced South Dakota State into 12 of their 20 turnovers in the second half. Steals 14-7 in favor of South Dakota State. But when it's all said and done, the one stat that counts, South Dakota State 90, IPFW 73.
It's a score. Very true.
Well, that's it. Sarah, thanks for pitch hitting for Doc Scout, and I really appreciate it.
Glad
hope to see
be
you
here.
down the road again sometime.
Definitely.
Well, at this time, we would like to thank everyone involved for this telecast, including our sponsors today, Ryan Steakhouse, located on North Clinton Street across from Scott's Foods, and Domino's Pizza for supplying the Channel 56 staff with a nice meal. Again, we'll see you again. The replay of this game will take place on Sunday, February 13th at 7 o'clock. Again, 7 o'clock Sunday the 13th for the replay of this game. And I believe we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another women's basketball game live. Upcoming for the Dons, home games against Northern Colorado on February 6th, Wisconsin, Milwaukee on February 10th, and Longwood University on February 17th. But again, our next telecast, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, comes to town February 19th, 1 o'clock tip-off. So that's what's ahead here at IPFW and Channel 56. Our next men's basketball telecast will be on Thursday, February 10th at 8 p.m. when Northern Colorado, a D1 school, as is IPFW and early on, comes to town. And again, that's about it for this afternoon. For Sarah Lade, this is Mike Miles. Once again, our final score today, South Dakota State 90, IPFW 73. South Dakota State goes to 14-6. The Mastodons drop to 2-17. Until next time, we wish you a very pleasant good afternoon from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW.